It's fair to say the football world had mixed reactions to North Melbourne's support package. For their recent finishes on the AFL ladder, the Commission granted them an end of first round pick this draft, in pick 19, and then 2 end of first round draft picks next year, in pick 19 and 20. However, the 2 extra picks next year will be reviewed in 2024 unless they are both used in this trade period. They also have 2 extra rookie spots to use next year. It's 3 valuable picks that have been given to them for free. The most upfront reaction was from Ross Lyon and Chris Scott on AFL 360. Both were clearly against the assistance package, and Chris Scott was furious, shaking his head repeatedly and calling for the AFL to stop manipulating the game.
So there is a mechanism of equalisation within the competition already. If you finish second last, you get second pick in the draft. And they've had that for a number of years now because they chose to go down a certain path. But the AFL pretty quickly has got to get to the point, in my view, where they just get out of the way and let the system operate without this blatant manipulation.
It is blatant manipulation, but that doesn't mean it's bad for the AFL. The priority pick concept is another one-of-a-kind element in the AFL. There is nothing like it in the NBA, NFL, MLB, or other major sports that hold yearly drafts. The idea is if a club has been at the bottom for an extended period of time, the league can assist them in draft selections to take players or use those picks to trade other players in. It ensures no club is at the bottom for 10 plus years. Besides the initial picks the expansion teams got, recent examples include Gold Coast, who got pick 1 in 2019, selecting Matt Rowell. Melbourne got the same pick, picking Tom Scully, and 2001 is the most famous example, as 3 clubs in Fremantle, St Kilda and West Coast got their first 3 picks from priority selections, with Freo trading theirs to Hawthorn, who picked Luke Hodge, St Kilda got Luke Ball, and West Coast picked up Chris Judd. These decisions have big impacts on the competition's future. So do North deserve help? It's been 4 seasons in a row that North Melbourne have finished bottom 2. The last finals series they played in was 2016, when veterans in Drew Petrie, Brent Harvey, Michael Ferrito and Nick Dalsano all retired. Together, it makes 7 seasons in a row without finals. Gold Coast has never made finals, so Adelaide is 3rd with 6, and Hawthorn is next with 5 years of not making the last 8. So right now, North Melbourne aren't historically bad in terms of not making finals. The big issue is the bottom of the ladder finishes, which the AFL hates. From their viewpoint, no club should be bottom 2 for 4 straight years, with horrible percentages and big losses. Gil McLachlan emphasised this on AFL 360.
There are compromises, and it's an industry decision when someone's so bad. Now, the point about it is, Ross's point, I think, was their own decisions got them there, there's no doubt about it. But I think statistically, North Melbourne are the worst position of any club the last 5 years in VFL, AFL history. And they are a laggard. And for the benefit of all of the competition, we want all men to be able to compete. So yes, there is compromise.
If you look at it from the AFL's perspective, getting North Melbourne better quickly is important. It stops the club from wailing by itself at the bottom and re-energises the fan base. It's a quick fix strategy to get rid of what the AFL think is a problem. But is North Melbourne's situation a problem the AFL should be interfering with? The opposite of the AFL's perspective, which was before mentioned by Ross Lyon and Chris Scott, is that North's circumstances are their own fault and therefore should battle through them by themselves. They finished at the bottom of the ladder and have had the high picks. Since 2016, North have had 10 top 23 selections in the draft. That's a little over half an AFL starting 18. But out of those 10, only Luke Davis-Uniacke and Harry Sheezel have become stars. George Wardlaw has shown potential, while Will Phillips and Tom Powell haven't got going due to a variety of reasons. Taron Thomas has been trouble, although he has mountains of talent, and Jason Horne-Francis was traded after a year, but it's hard to blame North Melbourne for that situation. Player trades have been uninspiring in the same period of time, with no stars eventuating from any deals. They just haven't been able to get the team right since 2016. After Brad Scott left in 2019, Rhys Shaw lasted 1 full season as senior coach, David Noble lasted a season and 3 quarters, and even Alistair Clarkson had to take leave in his first year. It's both bad decision making and plain bad luck. But hope was seen in the back half of 2023 with a good run of results and young player performances. This is where it gets complicated. Ben Mackay will most likely leave, and North should get pick 3 as compensation, which is fair. It leaves them with picks 2, 3, 16, 19 and 39 this year. That's 4 elite picks and another solid one. They have those 2 future first rounders to play with as well to either move in this draft or get a player. Their last 6 games were solid and big positive signs were there. So it's a big risk by the AFL to give them this much help. At the end of the day, North is still rebuilding, so they aren't supposed to win a lot of games. So the big what if for the competition is in 2 or 3 years' time, we look back and all shake our heads. North and maybe Hawthorn are equal with young talent, so adding a new crop of 3 or 4 first round players may push North over the top. Is it possible North could be loaded in the near future? We saw how quickly Brisbane went from the bottom to a top 4 team. If North in 5 years win 2 or 3 flags, will the AFL actually be happy? What if the selections they gave them turned into superstars and they became a dominant team? It would be awkward. The answer to the question, do North deserve help, will be found out pretty soon if in 2 years they win a flag with important players taken with the assisted picks and from then on become a dominant team such as Richmond or Hawthorn. Then you would probably say they didn't, as the makings of the team were already there in 2021, 22 and 23. If in a couple years they become competitive and naturally progress to finals or top 4 with a steady improvement level, I think most people would be fine with that. And if in 2 years they are still struggling, then who knows what the AFL will do. The AFL wants an equal competition and in doing so will compromise it. It's a weird contradiction, but it's put there for these scenarios and to help out. Again, it depends what side of the fence you sit on and if you believe the equalisation system of the draft is all we need.
You saw Chris Scott, you saw Ross Lyon, particularly Chris Scott. The club's level of anger is more the Chris Scott level that I've detected in the 2 days since. Yeah.
It seems the clubs think no assistance should be given, but they are in competition with each other. The AFL Commission is openly manipulating the game, but the effects won't be seen for a few seasons from now.